Hi there! I hope you're having a great summer reading so far. I just want to tell you about some awesome fantasy books that we have here at the library. In a couple weeks, we're going to be having a fantasy book discussion. So if you've read any fantasy books this summer of any kind, you can hop on and talk about the books that you've read and have enjoyed. So I know sometimes when we think about fantasy, we think about castles and fairies and magic. And while some people may love that, I want to give some different options for some fantasy books since our theme is Imagine Your Story. And it's all about fantasy, fairy tales, and folklore. So the first one I want to start off with is Cinder. 16-year-old Cinder is considered a technological mistake by most of society and a burden by her stepmother. Being a cyborg does have its benefits, though Cinder's brain interference has given her an uncanny ability to fix things, robots, hovers, her own malfunctioning parts, making her the best mechanic in New Beijing. This reputation brings Prince Kai himself to her weekly market booth, needing her to repair a broken android before the annual ball. He jokingly calls it a matter of national security, but Cinder suspects it's more serious than he's letting on. Although eager to impress the prince, Cinder's intentions are derailed when her younger sister, stepsister, and only human friend is infected with the fatal plague that's been devastating Earth for a decade. Blaming Cinder for her daughter's illness, Cinder's stepmother volunteers her body for plague research, an honor that no one has survived. So this is a really fun twist on Cinderella, if you haven't noticed. So this one fits into our fairy tale fantasy category. So this one has a little bit more of a sci-fi twist to it than classic fantasy. So if you want to check this one out, we encourage you to do that. So the next book I want to share with you is Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. The lone survivor of an attack on her caravan, Mariko, the daughter of the emperor, narrowly escapes into the woods, where she plots her revenge. Dressed as a peasant boy, she sets out to infiltrate the Black clan and hunt down those responsible for putting a target on her back. Once she's within their ranks, though, Mariko finds for the first time that she's appreciated for her intellect and abilities. She even finds herself falling in love. A love that will force her to question everything she's ever known about her family, her purpose, and her deepest desires. Set in feudal Japan, this book is very Mulan reminiscent and a very fun read. So check out A Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. Next, I want to tell you about Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Zele Adebola remembers when the soil of Orisha hummed with magic. Burners ignited flames, tiders beckoned waves, and Zele's Reaper mother summoned forth souls. But everything changed the night magic disappeared. Under the orders of a ruthless king, Magi were killed, leaving Zele without a mother and her people without hope. Now Zele has one chance to bring back magic and strike against the monarchy. With the help of a rogue princess, Zele must outwit and outrun the crown prince, who is hell-bent on eradicating magic for good. So this is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Next, I want to tell you about There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. The age of darkness approaches. 5 lives stand in its way. Who will stop it or unleash it? For generations, the 7 prophets guided humanity. Using their visions of the future, they ended wars, united nations, until the day, 100 years ago, when the prophets disappeared. And they left behind one final secret prophecy, foretelling an age of darkness, and the birth of a new prophet who could be the world's salvation, or the cause of its destruction. As chaos takes hold, 5 souls are set on a collision course. a prince exiled from his kingdom, a ruthless killer known as the Pale Hand, a once faithful leader torn between his duty and his heart, a reckless gambler with the power to find anything or anyone, and a dying girl on the verge of giving up. So this book reminded me a little about the TV show Legends of Korra. The magic system was very similar, and the plot line was a little similar as well. But this one had a ton of fun world building and really, really great character development. So this is a really great fantasy book called There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. And lastly, for more middle grade readers, I have A Kata Witch. A Kata Witch transports the reader to a magical place where nothing is quite as it seems. Born in New York, but living in Aba, Nigeria, 12-year-old Sunny is understandably a little lost. She is albino and thus incredibly sensitive to the sun. All Sunny wants to do is to be able to play football and get through another day of school without being bullied. But once she befriends Orlu and Chi-Chi, Sunny is plunged into the world of the leopard people, where your worst defect becomes your greatest asset. Together, Sunny, Orlu, and Chi-Chi, and Sasha form the youngest ever Oha Coven. Their mission is to track down Black Hat Otakato, the man responsible for kidnapping and maiming children. Will Sunny be able to overcome the killer with powers stronger than her own? Or will the future she saw in the flames become reality? Once again, this is A Kata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor. So, I hope you enjoyed those book suggestions and that you'll check one of them out for the summer and that we will see you in our upcoming fantasy book discussion. Have a great summer and keep on reading!